Good morning, children. Today we are going to study about the first chapter, which is called as chemical calculations, basic concepts of chemistry and chemical calculations. In this video, you will be learning about how chemistry is important in our different spheres of life. How are we classifying different substances into elements, compounds and mixtures? How to define atomic mass and molecular mass, and how to define mole. These are the things we'll be learning in this chapter. What are the basic needs of life? உண்ண உணவு, உடுக்க உடை, இருக்க இடம். That means food to eat, cloth to wear and place to live. These are the basic needs of every human life. Chemistry plays a major role in providing the needs and also help us to improve the quality of life. Chemistry has produced many compounds such as fertilizers, insecticides that could enhance the agriculture production. We build better and stronger buildings that sustain different weather conditions with modern cements, concrete mixtures and better quality steel. We also have better quality fabrics. The world in which we are living is constantly changing, and the science of chemistry continues to expand and evolve to meet the challenges of our modern world. For example, when HIV/AIDS epidemic began in early 1980s, patients rarely lived longer than a few years. But now, many effective medicines are available to fight the epidemic infection, and the people with HIV infection have longer life and better life. The understanding of chemical principles enabled us to replace the non-eco-friendly compounds such as CFCs in refrigerators with appropriate equivalent and increasing number of green processes. There are many researchers working in different fields of chemistry to develop new drugs, environment-friendly materials, synthetic polymers for the betterment of our daily life and the betterment of the society. Just have a look around you. You may see benches, tables, blackboard, chalk piece, pen, pencil. What are they all composed of? They are all made up of matter. What is matter? Matter is defined as anything that has mass and occupies space. Matter is nothing but something which has mass and occupies space. All matter is made up of atoms. Matter is nothing but something which can have mass and occupies space. Matter is commonly classified into two broad categories by their physical state and by chemical composition as physical matter and chemical matter. We are classifying matter in two different ways. One is based on its physical state, another one is based on its chemical composition. Based on its physical state, we classify matter as solids, liquids and gases. Based on physical state, we classify them into solids, liquids and gases. You can give example for solid matter as ice, liquid water and gas it is water vapor. So one form of physical matter can be converted into another form by either modifying the temperature or by pressure. Solid ice can be melted to liquid water, and which on further heating can get converted to water vapor, and on condensation you will get back water vapor to liquid, liquid to solid. The same way, chemically we can classify in matter as mixture and pure substances. Chemical way of classifying it is mixtures and pure substances. Mixture, what are mixtures? Mixtures consist of more than one chemical entity present without any chemical interaction. Mixture contains two or more entities, but they will not undergo any chemical interaction. Best example is oil in water. These mixtures are further classified into homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Homogeneous mixture, you can have an example of salt water, sugar water. When you dissolve sugar in water, you may not find it as sugar water unless you taste it. So mixture will be having more than one chemical entity, but they will not undergo any chemical interaction. And heterogeneous mixture, you may have oil in water, it will form two different layers. You can visualize it in naked eye. What are pure substances? Pure substances are further classified into elements and compounds. These pure substances are composed of only simple atoms or molecules. Pure substances consist of only simple atoms or molecules. They are further classified into elements and compounds. For elements, you can give any example of copper, helium, iron, anything you can give example. And for compound, you can have a mixture of elements like sodium chloride, copper sulfate. They can be taken as example for compounds. Based on physical state of matter, it is classified as solid, liquid and gas. Solid, you will have components which are closely packed, and in liquid the atoms or molecules are loosely packed, and in gas molecules the atoms or molecules are far away from each other. The physical state of matter can be interconverted from one form to other, either by heating or by increasing the pressure or decreasing the pressure. Chemically, we classify matter into pure substances and mixtures. Mixtures are nothing but which are made up of more than one entity present without any chemical interactions. These mixtures are further classified into homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Homogeneous mixtures are nothing but mixtures which have same composition throughout the matter. For example, sugar solution, salt solution. And heterogeneous mixtures are the mixtures which do not have uniform composition throughout, and sometimes even different components can be observed with naked eye. Example, oil in water, even sea water. You will have it's a heterogeneous mixture of various components. The composition of sea water varies from place to place, so it is considered to be a mixture. And pure substances, what are pure substances? Pure substances have fixed components, fixed composition, and their constituent cannot be separated by simple methods. Pure substances cannot be, the components present in pure substances cannot be actually separated by simple physical methods. Example, copper, silver, water, etc. These pure substances are further classified into elements and compounds. What are elements? Elements are nothing but a pure substance which is made up of only one kind of particle called atoms or molecules. An element consists of only one type of atom. Example, sodium, copper, silver, etc. But different elements are different in nature due to different number of protons, electrons, neutrons. Atom is made up of electrons, protons and neutrons. So different elements are different in nature. And these elements are further classified into monatomic, diatomic or polyatomic units. Monatomic unit means it will consist of only one atom. For example, gold is a monatomic element. Polyatomic units, you will have hydrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, which consist of more than one monatomic units. I have shown you the picture. What are compounds? Compounds are made up of molecules which contain two or more atoms of different elements. Compound contains two or more atoms of different elements combined in a fixed proportion by mass. For example, H2O, CO2, NaOH, NaCl, ammonia, sugar, they are all examples for compounds. They consist of more than two atoms. What are compounds? Compounds are made up of two or more atoms of different elements combined in fixed proportion by mass. But when you look at the properties of compounds, they are different from that of the atoms from which they are formed. For example, you see sodium is a shiny metal and chlorine is an irritating gas. But when these two are mixed together, they will form sodium chloride, which is actually not having any of the properties of the sodium or chloride. Instead, it has a unique property of crystalline solid, which is vital for its biological function. Also, when you look at water, it is actually non-support of combustion. It is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is highly combustible substance and burns with a pop sound, and oxygen is supporter of combustion. But when these two are mixed, when water is formed, it becomes actually a fire extinguisher. So compounds will have properties which are different from those of the constituent elements. Here is a question to evaluate yourselves what you have learnt. By applying the knowledge of chemical classification, classify each of the following elements as following into elements, compounds and mixtures. Sugar, what is it? Yes, it is actually C12H22O11, so it's a compound. It consists of more than one element, so one atom. It's a compound because the proportion of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen are fixed, so it is a compound. Coming to seawater, as I already told you, it is a mixture because the composition of seawater varies from place to place. If you look at seashore, the water consists of the minerals in lesser proportion, but if you go deep into the sea, the mineral quantity, the composition of mineral will be high, so it's a mixture. Distilled water, carbon dioxide, table salt and naphthalene balls are all compound. And copper wire, silver plate, they are actually made up of copper wire is made up of only copper, silver plate is made up of only silver, so they are elements. Define atomic mass. I told you atom is made up of electrons, protons and neutrons. Is it possible to weigh an atom by keeping it in a balance? An atom is too small with a diameter of around 10 power minus 10 meter and it weighs about approximately 10 power minus 27 kilogram. So it is not possible for us to calculate its mass directly. Hence we go for a relative scale. Actually, carbon 12 atom is considered to be the standard to calculate the atomic mass. The atomic mass of carbon 12 is actually fixed to be 12 atomic mass unit or 12 U according to IUPAC. So what is this atomic mass? How are they defining it? The atomic mass unit or unified atomic mass is defined as exactly 1/12 of the atomic mass of carbon 12 atom in its ground state, and its value is found to be 1.6605 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram. That is, the relative atomic mass is nothing but ratio of average atomic mass to the unified atomic mass. We are calculating only the relative atomic mass. What is the relative atomic mass? It is nothing but the ratio of average mass of an atom to the unified atomic mass. If you want to calculate the relative atomic mass of hydrogen, that is, we know the average mass of hydrogen atom to be 1.6736 into 10 power minus 27 kilograms. Therefore, relative atomic mass of hydrogen is nothing but we know that average mass by unified atomic mass. Unified atomic mass is a constant value. It is 1.6605 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram. So relative atomic mass is nothing but 1.6736 into 10 power minus 27 by 1.6605 into 10 power minus 27. 10 power minus 27, 10 power minus 27 will get cancelled. 1.6736 by 1.6605 will be equal to 1.0078, which is approximately equal to 1.008 unit. So relative atomic mass of hydrogen is calculated to be 1.008 units. Since most of the atoms or so most of the elements consist of isotopes, isotopes are nothing but they have the same atomic number but they differ in mass number. So they have difference in mass. We use instead of relative atomic mass, we use what is called as average atomic mass. Average atomic mass is nothing but average of atomic mass of all atoms in their naturally occurring isotopes. What does it mean? Just we'll explain with an example. Let us consider the example of chlorine. Chlorine exists in the two naturally occurring isotopes as chlorine 35 and chlorine 37, and the abundance of chlorine 35 and 37 is 77 is to 23. The average relative atomic mass of chlorine then will be 35. Chlorine 35 is about 77%, so 35 into 77, and chlorine 37 is abundant around to 23%, so 37 into 23. Add these two, whole divided by 100 will give you 35.46 units, unified mass, which is called as atomic mass of chlorine. So if you want to find out average atomic mass, the formula used is atomic mass of the isotope 1 into its percentage abundance plus atomic mass of the second isotope into its percentage abundance whole divided by 100. So percentage abundance should be multiplied by atomic mass of the first isotope, then abundance of the second isotope with its isotopic mass whole divided by 100 will give you average relative atomic mass. Relative molecular mass is defined as the ratio of mass of a molecule to the unified atomic mass unit. This relative molecular mass of any compound can be calculated by adding all the atomic masses of its constituent atoms. For example, if you want to find out relative molecular mass of hydrogen, it consists of two atoms of hydrogen. So you know the relative atomic mass of hydrogen to be 1.008. Because two atoms are present, we will multiply it by 2. So 2 into relative atomic mass of hydrogen, that will be equal to 2 into 1.008 units, which is nothing but 2.016 units. Here is another example given to calculate the relative molecular mass of glucose. The formula for glucose is C6H12O6. That means it consists of 6 atoms of carbon, 12 atoms of hydrogen and 6 atoms of oxygen. We know that in order to calculate relative molecular mass, we have to add the atomic mass of all the constituent atoms. So we multiply 6 atoms of carbon by its atomic mass as 12, and 12 hydrogen atoms should be multiplied by its atomic mass as 1.008, and 6 oxygen atoms should be multiplied by 16. So you will have 6 into 12, which is equal to 72, plus 12 into 1.008, which is equal to 12.096, plus 6 into 16, which is equal to 96. Totally you will have 180.096 units. So that's the way we can calculate relative molecular mass of any compound. If the compound formula is given, you may calculate the relative molecular mass by adding all the atomic masses. If you want to find out the atomic mass, just go take a logbook. You can see the pages given. Actually, after the periodic table, you are provided with a long table in which the name along with its atomic number, symbol and atomic weight is given. So refer that page to find out the atomic mass of any element. To express the quantity of individual items, we use according to our own convenience. For example, a dozen roses means it will consist of 12 roses, and 1 quire of paper means it may have 24 sheets. Sometimes if it is a cut sheet, you will have 25 sheets. The same way, in order to find out or in order to quantify the atoms or molecules, we use a concept called mole. Mole is nothing but, specifically it is called as amount of substance. What is mole? Mole is nothing but amount of substance. It is used to quantify atoms and molecules. So what is mole? Mole is used for quantifying atoms and molecules in chemistry. If they ask you to define mole, mole is nothing but it is a SI unit to represent a specific amount of substance, and 1 mole is equal to 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 entities. 1 mole is equal to 6.023 into 10 power 23 entities. That 6.023 into 10 power 23 may be atoms, ions or molecules according to the question given. I told you 1 mole is equal to 6.023 into 10 power 23 entities. It may be atoms, molecules or ions. Let us calculate it and verify it. Let us calculate the number of atoms or molecules present in 1 mole of carbon 12. We are going to calculate number of atoms or molecules present in 1 mole of carbon 12. Mass of carbon in gram will be 12 gram. Mass of single atom is 1.9926 into 10 power minus 23. For carbon, the mass of single atom is 1.9926 into 10 power minus 23. Now, number of moles is nothing but mass of the substance by mass of single atom. What is mass of the substance? 12. Mass of single atom is 1.9926 into 10 power minus 23, which is nothing but 6.023 into 10 power 23. As how we did using carbon 12, we can calculate even for glucose, potassium dichromate and potassium permanganate by taking glucose of 180 grams, potassium dichromate of 294.18 grams and potassium permanganate of 158.03 grams. When you calculate, if you see in all the cases, the number of atoms or molecules found to be 6.022 into 10 power 23. That means 1 mole of any substance will contain 6.022 into 10 power 23 entities. How are we defining mole? Mole is nothing but 1 mole is nothing but the amount of substance of a system which contains as many elementary particles as there are in 12 gram of carbon 12 isotope. Already we saw that 12 gram of carbon 12 isotope contains 6.022 into 10 power 23 entities. So 1 mole is nothing but amount of substance which contains as many elementary particles as there are in carbon 12 gram of carbon 12 isotopes. The elementary particles can be molecules, atoms or ions. So mole is nothing but amount of substance or 6.022 into 10 power 23 entities which are atoms, molecules or ions. What are antacids? Antacids, as the name itself says, that it acts against acid. Actually, when you take some oily stuff, you will feel heavy in the stomach, or you will have stomach burning sensation, which is called as acidity. The medicine used to treat acidity is called as antacid. These antacids are usually consist of magnesium hydroxide or aluminum hydroxide, which will neutralize the excess acid. What is present in the antacid? The chemicals present are already I told you, it is magnesium hydroxide and aluminum hydroxide. When these aluminum hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide reacts with the gastric juice in the stomach consists of hydrochloric acid. So when it reacts with the gastric juice, it will neutralize to give aluminum chloride and magnesium chloride respectively. 1 mole of aluminum chloride neutralizes 3 moles of hydrochloric acid, and 1 mole of magnesium hydroxide neutralizes 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. Gastric juice is present in the stomach, which is very important for the digestion, which contains hydrochloric acid. The concentration of the acid in the stomach should be around 0.082 molar. Suppose if the concentration exceeds to 0.1 molar, it causes heat burn or heartburn and acidity. So what do we do? We'll take antacid. How many milligrams of antacid should be taken? Let us calculate how this mole concept is applicable to our human body biological system. If you take aluminum hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide of around 250 milligrams in the medicine of antacid, the molecular mass of aluminum hydroxide is found to be 78. How will you calculate molecular mass? Will add the atomic mass of all the elements present, that is aluminum plus 3 oxygen plus 3 hydrogen. If you add all the 3, you will get the molecular mass, which is found to be 78. And how will you calculate the number of moles? You will divide mass by molecular mass. You will get this value. Actually mass is given in milligrams, so you will convert it into grams. So you will get 0.0032 moles. Same way for magnesium hydroxide, magnesium mass is also 250 milligrams. We'll divide it by 58 into 10 power minus 3. The number of moles will be 0.0043. Now when you consider the number of moles of hydroxyl ion, in the aluminum hydroxide there are 3 moles of hydroxyl ions are present. So you multiply this number of moles by 3. You will have 0.0096. And in the case of magnesium hydroxide, there are 2 hydroxyl ions, so you multiply 0.0043 by 2, you will have 0.0086. So total number of moles of hydroxyl ions present in the tablet will be, you add these 2 hydroxyl ion moles, you will have 0.0182. The typical concentration of gastric juice in human stomach is 0.082 molar. By taking 250 milligrams of aluminum hydroxide with 250 milligrams of magnesium hydroxide, it will neutralize 0.0182 moles of hydrochloric acid for a person with a gastric acid content of 0.1 mole. So 0.1 minus 0.0182 will give you 0.082, which is exactly neutralizing the excess acid, which brings the concentration level back to normal. For having a deeper understanding in this content what is given in this video, please don't forget to write this unit test given for about 20 marks. The first question is to calculate the molar mass of the compounds like ethanol, potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate and sucrose. I told you molar mass is calculated by actually adding all the atomic masses. Where will you find out the atomic mass? You can find out the atomic mass in the table given in the logbook. Get the Clark's table. From that you find out the atomic masses and then you add. Then second question is define mole. Third question is define relative atomic mass and relative molecular mass. Fourth question is what is an antacid. Fifth question is how will you calculate the average atomic mass from the data. Actually for this also I have given you the formula to calculate average atomic mass using the isotopic masses. Here they have given you the isotopic atomic mass as well as abundance. So you have to multiply isotopic atomic mass into abundance of the first isotope plus isotopic atomic mass of the second isotope plus into abundance plus isotopic atomic mass of the third isotope into abundance whole divided by 100. If you calculate, you will get the average atomic mass. Thank you children. Hope you all have understood this concept, and wait for part 2 of chemical calculations, which will be uploaded soon. Like, share and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thank you.